Combining dining room and living room circuits under the National Electrical Code, or NEC, is permissible under certain conditions. The key factor is the amperage of the circuit. According to the NEC, a dining room circuit does not inherently require a dedicated 20 amp circuit. It can indeed be incorporated with the living room circuit, provided that the circuit is rated at 15 amps and meets all other applicable requirements of the NEC. Several factors must be considered to ensure compliance and safety. Firstly, the total load on the combined circuit must not exceed 80% of the circuit's rating. For a 15 amp circuit, this means that the combined load should not exceed 12 amps. Calculating the total load involves summing up the amperage requirements of all devices and appliances that will be used simultaneously on both the dining room and living room circuit. Common items to consider include lighting fixtures, televisions, lamps, phone chargers, and any other electrical devices that might be plugged into outlets on the circuit. Secondly, the wiring must be adequately sized to handle the circuit's amperage. For a 15 amp circuit, typically 14 American wire gauge or AUG copper wire is used. However, it is crucial to verify local codes and regulations, as some jurisdictions may have stricter requirements. The wire must be in good condition, free from damage, and properly connected to the circuit breaker in all outlets and devices. Thirdly, all outlets and devices connected to the circuit must be rated for the circuit's amperage. Using outlets or devices with a lower amperage rating can create a fire hazard. Check the labels on outlets, switches, and light fixtures to ensure they are rated for at least 15 amps. Additionally, ensure that all connections are secure and properly grounded. Fourthly, ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection may be required in certain locations within the dining room or living room, especially if there are outlets near water sources such as sinks or damp areas. GFCI outlets are designed to detect ground faults and quickly shut off power to prevent electrical shock. Check local codes to determine if GFCI protection is required in your specific situation. Fifthly, arc fault circuit interrupter, or FSI, protection may also be required for the circuit. FSI breakers are designed to detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can lead to fires. The NEC often requires FSI protection for circuits serving living rooms and dining rooms. Verify local codes to determine if FSI protection is required for your circuit. Sixthly, the circuit breaker protecting the circuit must be correctly sized for the circuit's amperage. Using an oversized circuit breaker can allow the circuit to be overloaded, which can create a fire hazard. Ensure that the circuit breaker is rated for 15 amps and is in good working condition. Regularly test the circuit breaker to ensure it trips properly when overloaded. Seventhly, consider the potential future load on the circuit. If you anticipate adding more electrical devices or appliances to the dining room or living room in the future, it may be wise to install a dedicated 20 amp circuit to provide additional capacity. This can prevent the need for rewiring in the future and ensure that the circuit can handle the increased load. Eighthly, comply with all applicable local codes and regulations. Electrical codes can vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, so it is important to check with your local building department or electrical inspector to ensure that your wiring complies with all applicable requirements. Obtaining the necessary permits and inspections can help ensure that your wiring is safe and code compliant. Ninthly, consider the use of a multi-wire branch circuit. A multi-wire branch circuit consists of two or more ungrounded conductors that share a common neutral conductor. This type of circuit can provide more capacity while using less wiring. However, multi-wire branch circuits must be installed carefully to avoid overloading the neutral conductor. Tenthly, use high-quality electrical components. Using low-quality electrical components can increase the risk of electrical problems and hazards. Invest in high-quality outlets, switches, wiring, and circuit breakers to ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system. Be sure to use only Underwriters Laboratories or all listed components. 11thly, if you are unsure about any aspect of wiring or electrical code compliance, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. A licensed electrician can assess your specific situation provide expert advice, and ensure that your wiring is safe and code compliant. Attempting to perform electrical work without proper training and knowledge can be dangerous and may violate local codes. 12th, proper grounding is critical for electrical safety. Ensure that all outlets, devices, and equipment connected to the circuit are properly grounded. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which can help prevent electrical shock. Check the grounding connections to ensure they are secure and properly connected. 13th, label the circuit breaker clearly. Clearly label the circuit breaker that protects the dining room and living room circuit. This will make it easier to identify the circuit in the future and can help prevent confusion during electrical work. Use a permanent marker or label maker to create a clear and legible label. 14th, consider the use of surge protection. Surge protection can help protect your electronic devices from damage caused by power surges. Install a surge protector at the circuit breaker panel or use surge-protected power strips to protect your valuable electronics. 15th, regularly inspect your wiring and electrical components. Periodically inspect your wiring, outlets, switches, and circuit breakers for signs of damage or wear. Look for cracked or broken outlets, loose wires, and tripped circuit breakers. Address any problems promptly to prevent electrical hazards. 16th, avoid overloading outlets with too many extension cords or power strips. Overloading outlets can create a fire hazard. Use extension cords and power strips sparingly and ensure they are rated for the amperage of the devices connected to them. 17th, never cover extension cords or power strips with rugs or furniture. Covering extension cords or power strips can trap heat and create a fire hazard. Keep extension cords and power strips uncovered and away from flammable materials. 18th, be aware of the signs of electrical problems. Be aware of the signs of electrical problems, such as flickering lights, buzzing sounds, and burning smells. If you notice any of these signs, turn off the circuit breaker immediately and consult with a qualified electrician. 19th, keep electrical panels accessible. Keep electrical panels accessible and free from obstructions. This will allow you to quickly access the circuit breakers in case of an emergency. 20th, follow the manufacturer's instructions for all electrical devices and appliances. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for all electrical devices and appliances. This will help ensure that they are used safely and correctly. 21st, never work on electrical systems while they are energized. Always turn off the circuit breaker before working on electrical systems. This will help prevent electrical shock. 22nd, use insulated tools when working on electrical systems. Use insulated tools when working on electrical systems to help prevent electrical shock. 23rd, wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves, when working on electrical systems. 24th, know the location of your electrical shut-off switch. Know the location of your electrical shut-off switch so you can quickly turn off the power in case of an emergency. 25th, keep a fire extinguisher nearby. Keep a fire extinguisher nearby in case of an electrical fire. 26th, consider using arc fault circuit interrupter or SI outlets. SI outlets provide additional protection against arc faults, which can cause electrical fires. 27th, consider using tamper-resistant outlets. Tamper-resistant outlets help prevent children from inserting objects into the outlets. 28th, ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician. Electrical work should always be performed by a qualified electrician to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. 29th, obtain the necessary permits and inspections. Obtain the necessary permits and inspections from your local building department before performing any electrical work. 30th, keep records of all electrical work. Keep records of all electrical work performed on your home's electrical system. This will be helpful for future reference and for selling your home. In summary, while incorporating the dining room circuit with the living room circuit at 15 amps is generally acceptable under the NEC, it is crucial to adhere to all safety guidelines and local codes. Always prioritize safety and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any doubts or concerns.